You know why you're here, I know why you're here. Let's not waste any time and get straight into it. Welcome to Addicted to Watches. It's that time of year when every channel desperately makes a video to show off their collection for the validation from you, the viewer. In turn, you all get to live vicariously and take a peek at what reviewers keep at the end of a long hard day of telling you to buy any and every watch. This is just another channel's state of the collection. I'll break this video up into two parts. Part 1 will be looking at what's still here and what's moved on since last year. Part 2 will be the new additions to the collection that have joined this year. Kicking off Part 1 is this Brights SAGY003, and it's gone. This SAGV001, gone. SBQK083, gone. SZTR007, gone. STBQ041, also gone. This Silverwave is actually still here, but for how much longer I don't know. And finally from this lot, the SBXY017, which is, you guessed it, gone. That first group was never really going to stick around too long anyway. Not because they aren't good watches, but because I can only hang on to so many, and for me, they have to be a bit special. Zooming on to the next group, and we start with these Casio LF20W models. Both are still here in the collection, though they haven't received too much wrist time. So too is this MDW, and for another year it has remained unopened. Maybe 2026 will be the year. The Casio also remains in the collection at the moment, though I can't say the same for the ANA 5600, Georgia Coffee 5600, or Premium Malts 5600, all of which are gone. I'll save you some time and say that all of these next ones have also left the collection. That includes the SBSA 227, SNZF 25J1, SSK021, Saab 066, SRPJ 21J, SCFF009, and this Addies Dive MY-2H. I was pretty ruthless with my selling this year, and I think 2026 will be no different. If you haven't seen videos for some of these yet, or just recently saw them posted, it's probably because I record some of my videos well in advance of posting them. Next up in this group is the ANA Flightmaster in two-tone. It's still hanging around, though this SZER102 isn't, unfortunately. The SUS chronograph has also stuck around for now, though the SUR has left the collection. Both this Citizen EcoDrive 365 and Lip Churchill are also still here. Moving on to this pair of Bulova Surveyors, both are gone, though this pair of Tic Tac models are still here. As is this SZSB011 with a silver dial. The SCVS009 and 001 have both moved on. The Vintage Lordmatic is still here. Orient Star, gone. Tiosa Small Seconds, gone. Finally, we're at the keepers, mostly. The Starlight Presage is still in the collection, same for the Matcha Presage. The Citizen NB3020 has been moved on, but the BN0166 has stayed. The Laurel is still here too, but both of these Kuo Oldsmiths are gone, though they have been replaced by another model. Out of these, the Black Hamilton and the San Martin are still here, but the Brown Hamilton is gone. I don't know how much longer that San Martin will be here, because I was looking to keep only one of those three. The Pierre Paulin Jump Hour is also still in the collection, as are all the remaining watches. The Casio World Time, Solar Square G, MSI Factory Anniversary Model, and Credo Square. Finally, there are the three big boys that I don't ever see leaving my collection. The SBGS003, SBGR311, and SLGA007. So, out of the 54 I had in the collection this time last year, 28 have gone and 26 have stayed. That's just over half the collection that has been moved on to new homes. There, of course, have been plenty of purchases to fill the gaps left by some of those, so let's take a look at them now. Starting off with this group in front of us, and we've got a bit of a mixed bag. First up, from AliExpress, is this white-dialed Addies Dive AD2029. It uses a 39mm case we've seen the brand use a few times, and has a lot going for it, especially at the price. I picked this up as a bit of a tester for a white dial Erebus Ascent, but eventually grabbed that one in Aventurine. Also from AliExpress, and also as a tester, was this Cadison 62 mass lookalike with a really nice grey sunburst dial. This one is a 38mm case size rather than the 40mm of the Seiko version, but offered a good way to test out the case shape and see how I liked the design overall. Next is this NIS KN003, which is from a brand based in Japan, and actually one I picked up on my last trip there in April. I had a specific set of requirements I was looking for in a field watch, and this almost perfectly fit the bill. Speaking of field watches, there is this, the third Kuo Oldsmith field watch I've had, and the one that replaced the other two that left my collection. It might just make its way into the keeper category as well. This one is the newer version with Seiko movement instead of Miyota, and has a subtly textured dial. That is a real winner. The field watches don't stop there. This little Timex is another pickup from this year, and really won me over as an unassuming solid watch that is just ready to go and do just about anything. A solar movement and sapphire crystal are just icing on the cake. These next two somewhat continue the field watch theme, but in dial only. They're a bit of a mashup of field watch and Seiko Tuner Diver, but that just adds to their charm. They're both collaboration models with limited releases and are just a bit of fun. Here in both polar white and bronze accented black. Last on the table is a bit of a surprise pickup for me. It's a Jack Mason JM A101. Jack Mason is a brand that in more recent times has seen a lot of improvements in brand recognition within the micro-brand space, as well as their model and design production. This is an earlier model from them, which is a bit more of a unique take on the Flieger watch style, and one I've really been enjoying wearing. Moving on, and let's continue with the Seiko Tic Tac SZSB032, released at the end of 2024. This is the cream dial version of the original collaboration model, and I think offers an interesting take on the same design that really mixes things up. Next to that, and sharing the exact same case, is this model, released in collaboration with Wenner and Lowercase. Only 300 of these were made, and I just happened to stumble across it. It has a more simple look than the Tic Tac, but still brings a lot of vintage charm to the table. Moving in the complete opposite direction, and we have a couple of Casios. First is this Oceanus, which is solar, Bluetooth, multiband 6, and just about everything else you could ever ask for. It's a bit of an icon of the JDM market, and I figured it was about time I checked one out. The other Casio is this GBX 100. It has the MIP display, which looks oh so good, and when I picked this one up, the new 5600 with MIP display hadn't been released yet, so this was scratching the Square Watch itch. I think it might soon be replaced by that one though. Next up is another Kuo, this time from their higher end Royal Smith line. This 90-005 is a limited edition of 100, and is definitely channeling a little Grand Seiko with that dial layout. It's a much dressier watch than the other Kuo I've had previously, but still shares the same 35mm case size. Last but not least in this group is something actually vintage. Okay, maybe not quite vintage, but it's pushing it at least 30 years at this point. It's an early kinetic model, and I grabbed it just because it has a design very reminiscent of the Creedor locomotive that the brand resurrected in 2024. It was a high-end watch in its day, and really shows it in the attention to detail and construction. This last group here are probably some of the ones I was most excited about getting my hands on this year. In a bit of a 2-for-1, I got this SAGZ083 and SAGZ051. The 83 is actually the first watch I ever made a video about on the channel, so I thought it would be a fun exercise to revisit that one. And the 51 is the previous generation version of the same watch, which I think might actually be better, at least in terms of my preferences. Next up is a watch I actually mentioned in my collection video last year that I wanted to pick up, and I'm lucky that I was actually able to. I think this is my favourite version of the Baby Alpinist, with a textured grey-brown dial and gold accents. It reminds me a lot of the Black Bay 1, but of course infused with Alpinist design and DNA. It's definitely been one I've worn a lot since I got it. In a similar way, the SPB 147J was a watch I was looking at for quite a while, and even got the Cadison homage to try out. Like the Baby Alpinist, the colourway is distinctly vintage inspired, and I think it looks amazing with that brown sunburst. I managed to pick up a matching bracelet separately from the 143 model. Next to that on the table is this JDM Astron with a beautiful blue textured dial. Unlike most other Astron models, this one doesn't have a GPS module, but still offers a lot of functionality in a really stylish package that wears really well. We're almost at the end, but before we get there, we have this rather interesting one here. It's not a Presage, and also actually shares the same case as the Tic Tac model from earlier. It's a model that was commissioned by one specific retailer in Japan, and is a model to pay homage to Riki Watanabe, who was a famous Japanese industrial designer that worked with Seiko on a number of other models. This one was not designed by him, but incorporates elements of his design philosophy. It has a very rich, very deep blue dial that looks black in most lights, and really has to be seen in person to truly appreciate. Finally, we have my most recent pickup, and probably the one I've been most excited for, the Speedtimer SPB515J. This is the new release from Seiko in the Speedtimer collection in 3-hander configuration rather than chronograph, and it just does it for me. It's got retro influence with modern construction and materials, but more than that, it's the first watch in quite a long time to give me that really excited feeling when I put it on wrist. I uploaded an unboxing and initial impressions, but a full review is definitely coming for this one. So, those are all of the watches in my collection now at the end of 2025. There are actually just a couple of others to mention, ones that both entered and exited the collection in 2025, and so didn't appear last year and don't appear this year on the table. Honourable mention goes to the Erebus Ascent 39 in Aventurine, which I had some mixed feelings about, but ultimately found Aventurine wasn't for me. The Citizen NB1050 was another standout with the Sunburst Grey dial, and one I also mentioned this time last year that I wanted to pick up. I really like that watch, but it has gone to a family member. Also, one final watch that has moved on is the Citizen AQ3001, another fantastic option as an everyday watch, which also won over a family member, and so now resides with them. And that's it, my collection as it stands for 2025. By this time next year, I think most of these will probably have moved on, besides the core collection. But again, I'll say I would like to cut down that number. Besides that, I'd say my goals for 2026 would be to get something like a Zen or Ball into the collection, and maybe something from another micro brand I've never had before, like Baltic, Monta, or anything else that really catches my eye. One final thought for the year is just to say thank you for supporting my little channel. I make my videos, but you're the ones that actually watch them, and I really appreciate it. Let's check back in again this time next year and see whether I achieve any of those goals I mentioned. What do you think about these watches? Did you have a favourite? Was there one I shouldn't have sold? Is your collection bigger? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.